This is the Steve Cardenas panel from Twin Cities Con. It was an amazing time and there are some awesome Power Ranger moments in this video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hit that intro, Rangers.
You are watching the fan club.
You're watching the fan club.
And you're watching the fan club. Do you know what time it is?
And you know what time it is.
It's time for the fan club. Let's go. Hey!
I can't do this on my own, cause you know things ain't always sweet when you out here in these streets. But my morpher when it morph, I made a fake one.
Please help me welcome at this time, you know him as the Red Ranger, Rocky DeSantos. Please help me welcome Steve Cardenas.
Woo! I can't you guys can guess what you're on with.
I did it, I didn't say the P word.
Ooh, is this one for me? Yes. All right. How are you, everybody?
Welcome.
Am I supposed to tell you about my childhood and my past?
When did it all start? No. Welcome to Minneapolis.
Thank you guys for coming, man. Good to see everybody.
Is this your first time here in Minneapolis?
Not my first time to Minneapolis, but my first time to Twin City Con.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where do you call home? Because it is freezing out there. But I know last week, Halloween, it snowed on Halloween, right?
Yep.
So where do you call home?
I am in sunny Florida, thank you.
Oh.
And used to be in LA. So I stay in the sun.
You're like, I love the skywalk. I mean, the skywalk is amazing. You don't have to go out there in the 30, it was 30 something degrees this morning. It's dumb.
Yeah.
So how did you, I want to know first, not before we get into Power Rangers talk, but how did you get into martial arts? Because I'm super fascinated with that, and I'm sure that opened up some doors.
Yeah.
And when I was little, I took karate classes, and as all young kids do, and that went nowhere.
Yeah.
So how did you get into that practice and stay with it?
Right. Well, I mean, as a young kid, I'm sure a lot of you guys get this story as well too. I was pretty bullied as a young kid, and I was just I was very socially awkward, and I really was just trying to make friends, but I ended up pissing people off. So kids didn't like me very much, and so I had this group of kids that used to pick on me almost daily in elementary school, and back in 1984, the movie The Karate Kid came out. And I watched that movie and I'm like, this is my life that's happening right here.
I had the headband.
Huh?
I had the headband.
Yeah.
You remember the headband?
Yeah, right. Well, the headband, but anyway, the story of the movie, you know what I mean? Was he was a kid getting bullied by all these guys, and I was like, man, I wish I could just learn karate so I could kick these guys' butts and stuff. And when I was about 12, luckily I went to go live with my dad, and so I moved away from there. And there was a karate school right down the street from my house. And I used to just go and press my face up against the glass and watch these guys. I used to watch every kung fu movie and karate movie that was out there. I was just obsessed with martial arts on television and just wanted to be a ninja. And I had a little ninja outfit and I'd run around in my backyard and practice kicks even though I didn't know what the heck I was doing or anything like that. And so I don't know, I wanted to learn, but my parents or my dad didn't have the money to pay for martial arts. So I was 12 and I got this idea in my head one time, and I said, I'm gonna go meet the instructor, the head master, or whatever you call him, I don't know. And so I went in as a kid and I was like, hey, listen, I really want to learn martial arts, but I don't have the money to pay. And I said, I'll gladly clean the windows and the bathrooms and sweep the floors and stuff like that in exchange for lessons. Would you do something like that? And I thought for sure he was going to say no, but he goes, yeah, sure, I'll give you a shot. And so then I basically, from then on, I was there every day, because I was always there. I had to do the cleaning and everything like that. Then I get to take my classes. And I don't know, after I was there for a couple of years, and for whatever reason, I started learning everything about the business, So by the time I was when I was 12, by the time I was 14, I started teaching the little kids classes. So I was already an assistant there, and I was learning all the ins and outs of the martial arts business, And by the time I was 15 or whatever, I'm signing people up. You know, I'm actually like signing contracts and getting people signed into everything. So it just builds my whole life. You know what I mean? And I had all these aspirations to be a martial arts instructor and open up martial arts studios and all that stuff like that. And I ultimately ended up doing that, but took a detour because one day I was 20 and I was living in Texas and I was teaching martial arts classes to kids, and a commercial came on the radio that said, hey, if you know martial arts and gymnastics, come down to the local TV station this weekend. We're holding tryouts for a show called Power Rangers. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm a martial artist and gymnast. I'll go down and give it a go. And so I went down to the local TV station in Dallas, and I went and tried it out, and there was like about 5,000 people in the parking lot. And I looked out over the sea of people, and I said, there's no effing way that I'm going to get this gig.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then I did my little martial arts routine for them and stuff. And 2 days later, they called me back, and they're like, hey, we really like your audition. We'd like to fly you to California to meet Haim Saban and the producers. And so they flew me out the next day, and then as soon as I landed at the Burbank airport, we went right to the Saban studios, and they had opened up a big conference room for us to do the auditions, and we just went and did our thing, and then like 2 days after that, they go, congratulations, you got the part. Now we have to start filming right away, because we are already in the middle of production. We had to shut production down to find you guys, so you can't go home. And I was like, I have one change of clothes. I was literally here for 1 day. And they're like, can you have your clothes mailed to you? So I had to have my clothes shipped to me. And I remember because like Johnny and Karen, and they had to have their cars shipped to them. And all their clothes and everything too. We weren't allowed to leave. So we got thrown right into the deep end. And remember, I had never done any acting before. I had no aspirations to be an actor or anything like that. And I literally, 3-4 days later, I'm on set. And I'm learning about cameras and markers and lighting and sound and all this stuff. I mean, like, it literally was all on-the-job training for me.
So what did you actually have to do at the audition?
So the first audition, I just did martial arts routine, show them some kata moves and things like that. But I also, I used to do that for competitions all the time. So that was sort of my bread and butter. So I used to mix gymnastics into it as well too. So it was kind of perfectly what they were looking for as far as Power Rangers go. So that part was the easy part for me, but it was the acting part But luckily I did the show because I was teaching kids class at the time, so I was familiar with the show. And when we did the audition, I knew that when we had to say it's morphin' time, we should put our hands behind our back like this. That was one thing I think that helped us, because when Johnny and Karen and I had to go up to audition, I said, hey guys, when we say it's morphin' time, everybody put your hand behind your back. And they were like, oh my God, you guys know the show. And we're like, yeah, we know the show. So that's kind of how that all went down, yeah. But yeah, the acting stuff, they didn't really care too much. And they just cared about the martial arts stuff, and then they gave us training. As a matter of fact, Paul Schreier, the guy who plays Bulk, awesome guy. He was actually my acting coach behind the camera. It was on in between scenes and stuff. Like, okay, now you want to say this like this, because he was a classically trained theater actor and stuff, Shakespeare and stuff and everything. So him and Marty both, so they used to coach me behind the scenes. So even though they were the bullies on the show at the time, they were off camera. They were great friends, of course.
So tell me about the suit. Like when you first put on that suit, like was it made for movement?
Well, actually, funny story about all that is like when we auditioned, they didn't even know. I didn't even know which color Ranger I was auditioning for. You know what I mean? So I get into wardrobe and I start fitting, and I'm like, okay, which one are we going to be? The wardrobe people go, I don't know, which one are you going to be? And none of us knew. We had to go upstairs to the production office, and they're like, oh yeah, Johnny's going to be the Black Ranger and Steve will be the Red. I'm like, yes, I get to be the Red. That's awesome. But the thing is, they didn't even bother making a suit for me. They just gave me Austin St. John's old suit and made a muscle suit for me to wear everything because I was too skinny. So, they just made a muscle suit. So when you guys watch those old episodes, when I first came on the show, that's me in the muscle suit. Yeah, I'm in a muscle suit. It's pretty funny.
Was it easy to move in, or?
Yeah, it's spandex, man. It goes stretches every way, yeah. But they were not comfortable because, especially in California in the summer, it's blazing hot, so we had to film a lot of stuff outside. Those things are super hot. And you're not just wearing the spandex. It's not like, I just, pop out of the shower, put the spandex on, we have to put another set of spandex underneath that. So we're actually 2, sometimes 3 layers underneath there because, you know, well, yeah, exactly. Well, because you can't just put the spandex on because, hello, then everybody's going to get a joke show. So you have to, you know, put an extra couple of layers under there. And yeah, so it was not fun and it was not comfortable or cool in any way. It was very hot.
And obviously you did your own stunts.
We did most of them, yeah. But there was a lot of times that whenever the helmets were on and you couldn't see our faces anyway, they had the stunt guys in there. But with the Japanese stunt team, Alpha Stunts, if you guys follow the show at all, I mean, they're the ones who have been doing the stunts for, they used to do it even back to the Super Sentai from Japan. They were always Japan. None of them speak a lick of English, but they are, you know, way better than we ever could be. So the helmets and stuff, they would always do that because they had that down pat. And also they would be shooting that stuff at the same time that we'd be filming all the plainclothes stuff. So it saved time, you just crank the episodes out faster and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, there was, how many episodes did you?
I did 125 episodes.
125
episodes in 2.5 years is a lot. You know what I mean? Usually, like a show is on and they'll be their 100th episode after 5 years of the 5 seasons is when usually the 100th episode tends to come out. So, you know, we were cranking them out quick. Plus, when you have time, we also peppered in 2 feature films in there as well.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a lot. And then some of those guys stayed on longer to do more, you know what I mean? Because I left at Turbo.
Right. But you came back.
Well, came back for some couple of reunions.
Yeah, I came back for a couple.
Then we came back for the one for the 30-year anniversary, Power Rangers Ones and Almies. Did you guys check it out? Let those residual checks come in. Thank you. Thank you. Not that it'll be a lot. Don't worry.
What was your initial thought on coming back? You know, when they first contacted you to come back for Zeo. You know.
Well, I mean, Zeo was right after season 4. That was all transitional. It was like seamless. Like, so that wasn't a return. Right. That was just a continuation. But then they brought me back for the 25th. Well, actually, I got invited to do the 20th anniversary, but I couldn't do that one at the time, and I really regretted that I wasn't able to do that. So when I was able to do the 25th anniversary one, which was when we teamed up with Super Ninja Steel team, that was cool. It was cool to come back. And then I was really happy about the fact that they wanted to have a solely dedicated 30-year movie, you know, which is all just Mighty Morphin. It wasn't connected to or teaming up with the current season, you know, and I was very happy about that.
You know, so Halloween was just a couple days ago. Have you been at home handing out trick-or-treat candy, and then you have some Red Rangers, you have some Rangers come up to your house?
It's happened from time to time in the past, but yeah, I don't know. Usually a lot of times, you know, Halloween's fall on the weekends and I happen to be like traveling for another event or something like that, so I don't really see too many, you know, Halloween trick-or-treaters these days.
Hey, I want to tell you something. They're like, no, has that happened? Have you ever told somebody, hey, yeah, that's me, and they're like, no, it's not.
Well, sometimes that happens, but I'm not really generally one to go walking around and go, hey, I'm the Red Ranger, you know?
Right.
But it does happen sometimes, and if people don't believe me, then they just quickly Google, you know, Steve Red Ranger, and it pops right up. So, you know, if their suspicions are dispelled fairly quickly, but most of the time, you know, I might be like out with some friends or whatever. You know, one of you guys might be at a bar, like, hey, aren't you Rocky? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, cool. It's kind of nice to get recognized, like, because that definitely didn't happen back in the day, you know, because you guys were all too little. We're now at the bars.
And then not only that, you know, with the Power Rangers reunion, but also kind of a side reunion with the Order. Can you talk about how that started?
Yeah, so Karen Ashley, who was, you know, Aisha the Yellow Ranger, and David Fielding, who was Zordon, they co-wrote this script called The Order, and it's sort of this dystopian, post-apocalyptic type story about these 2 factions that were battling with each other, and it was a really cool story and a really cool concept. And the idea was everyone who ever had worn Mighty Morphin, or not Mighty Morphin, but any of the Power Rangers, we had everybody from, you know, Megaforce and from Lightspeed Rescue and, you know, Wild Force and every, you know, Mighty Morphin, all of them were all slated to do this project, and we had actually, you gone through pre-production, and we filmed a specific trailer for it and everything. And then last minute, I think there was some union issues or whatever, and we had to be put on hold. And then everybody couldn't stick with the project because it was too long in between. So it kind of sort of just fell apart. But I'm hoping that the order will try to find its way back into production.
Right.
But I don't know.
Never say never, right?
Yeah, I'll never say never. Yeah. But
Is there a dream project that you have, either as a solo project or a dream collab project that you would like to do in the future?
I mean, I've done other little acting things here and there. I did this movie a few years ago. It's on Amazon. It's called Beast of the Water, and I play this umbrella corporation, corporate military type, mercenary who's hired to, guard these scientists that are go traipsing through the jungle trying to find some ancient artifact, and we don't realize it's protected by this predator type creature. And the guy who directed it was one of the season winners of Face Off, or that series Face Off, where so he was a creature creator, and he made this monster that he made for me. So the whole movie's all practical effects and stuff, and it was pretty fun. And the guy who was inside that suit was 7'7", so he was a beast, And then he put the whole thing on, and was almost 9 feet tall. This creature. So anyway, and so this is just this character that's nothing like Rocky at all. I mean, this guy curses and he smokes cigarettes, and he's just a jerk, and then he gets killed horribly. So you get to see me in a death scene. It's amazing. So I like to try to do some more stuff like that if I can, but it's sometimes hard with Power Rangers. You sort of get pigeonholed, and that is what it is. But I embrace it because I get to see you guys all the time. That for me, that's the most rewarding thing, more so than just being able to try to do other stuff here and there,
I want to talk about that in meeting fans. I mean, I'm sure that you probably have shared some tears with fans who have those stories about, growing up with you. What is it like hearing those stories from those fans?
Yeah, well, I mean, we touched on it briefly a second ago. We're way back when you guys were too young. So if we ever met you back then, there was no really way to communicate unless you either wrote letters, snail mail, or we met you at some mall or something. And those people were you were too shy. You'd hide behind your mom. You wouldn't talk to us. Too scared. But now that you guys are older, and with the advent of social media and Comic-Con spreading the way that they've spread, there's been so many opportunities for us to meet you guys and for you to meet us. And now you're old enough to articulate what the show meant. And I just get so many great stories about how, people say, hey man, I had a really rough childhood. Just 30 minutes watching your show every day was a nice little escape. And I just wanted to come up and say thank you for that. That stuff means so much. And we didn't have that fan interaction back then, you know what I mean? So, after, for 10 years after I left Power Rangers, I didn't even know we had fans, you know what I mean? There wasn't really social media at the time, no conventions, none of this stuff, that let me know that there was, so the very first convention that I ever went to was 2007, the very first Morphicon. I got invited, and I remember stepping into the hotel lobby, and there was 1,000 people waiting, and as soon as I walked in, they all just started applauding, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize we had fans like that, And so it was a pretty cool, special feeling, to be able to kind of share that with everybody.
Absolutely. Speaking of fan interactions, we do have a microphone over there. If you guys do have
questions,
feel free.
I know you're dying to know, so please don't rush all at once, please.
So before we get to our questions, as folks are lining up, I have to ask, have you had the opportunity to meet the cast of Karate Kid? And tell them your story.
Oh my God, yeah. So the way that you guys were fangirls sometimes, I did that too. I was at a Comic-Con, and at first I met Billy Zabka, who was Johnny at the time. And this is all way before Cobra Kai, before those guys got their, blow back up again and stuff. And I met him a few times, and he was pretty cool. And then one time, Ralph Macchio was there with him. And I just remember, there was maybe 10, 15 people. Not crazy like they have now, And I was like, oh my God, I want to meet. And I said, Billy, can I meet Ralph? I've never met him yet. He's my hero. And anyway, so I got to meet Ralph Macchio, and I told him, I said, look, you're the reason that I got into martial arts. And he goes, and you stuck with it, and I didn't. And I go, dude, that don't matter, man. You're a legend, So anyway, it's just a great feeling, you know. So I can relate when people come up and say that kind of stuff to me, like, hey, you were my childhood. Well, I can relate when I meet some of these people, you know, some of these events that I do, you know. It's all pretty cool.
I love that story. Love that story. Hello. Just speak right into the microphone.
What's your name again?
My name's Mike.
And where are you from?
I'm from here. I'm from about 20 minutes south
Okay,
west
cool.
here.
Welcome. Okay, what's your question?
I was wondering, what's your favorite fight from any of the seasons of Power Rangers you've been in?
You know, I think the fight scenes that we did for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie from 1995, that one was pretty cool. When we were fighting against the Ooze guys and the Tengu Warriors and things like that, that was pretty cool. I don't know. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but you know. Or actually, what one of us really fun was doing the fight scene in Once and Always when they recreated the juice bar and had the putties in there and stuff. That's where the nostalgia kicked in for me. I'm like, you know, wow, they recreated the juice bar exactly, and the putties are all running around, and we're like, actually, you know, I had to like actually throw kicks again. I was like, wow. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Good question. Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Austin from Moorhead, Minnesota.
Nice to meet you.
So I was wondering, Power Rangers is a famously non-union show.
Right.
And they're, like, I heard that Amy Jo Johnson almost caught fire or did catch fire. Did you have any of those stories where you saw anything, and were you ever, like, thinking that, oh man, this is too much, I'm afraid for my safety?
No, thankfully, you know, they were pretty good at protecting us. The stunt team, you know, they always were, you know, I never got injured. I injured some of the stunt guys by accident, you know, from time to time, filming like 2 o'clock in the morning, it's dark, late at night, you know, like we're just tired, you know. So the stunt guys got hurt from time to time, but I never witnessed anybody get hurt, except for I think Jason Frank. One time we wasn't supposed to be, we were filming, but it wasn't our turn, so there were some other things getting filmed, so him and Johnny decided, let's practice tree flips. And so they're running up the tree, and then he doesn't like kick back enough, and so he just like kind of gainers into the tree, and his face like scrapes against the bark and scrapes the side of his face. And so they had to shoot this side of the face for part of the movie. If you guys check it out. Yeah, it was not good. Yeah, and he was not happy, and we were pretty worried that he was gonna have like, you know, like scarring on his face and stuff. Luckily, he healed up fine, but man, it was like, you can't mess around when it's not, you know, it's not. Yeah, so that was crazy. But no, I never got hurt, and I never really saw anybody else get badly hurt either. I don't know the Amy story on fire. I don't know anything about that. I don't remember any of that at all.
It probably was in the original
Yeah, it could be
season or
I know,
something.
but they would tell us about the stories all the time, so I'm surprised I never heard that one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. My name is Jordan. I'm from Bismarck, North Dakota.
Cool.
So good to be here again. So like with the 30th anniversary, with that coming out this year, do you know if you're going to be part of any like future Power Rangers projects, especially with that reboot with Cosmic Furies coming out?
As far as I know, nothing is in the works, and I know that the New Zealand offices, I know they kind of shut production down there, so I don't know if they're going to move it to the States and they're going to reevaluate it, but as of right now, they're not going to be making any new Power Ranger series that I know of as of yet. It might be a couple of years before any of that comes around again. So Power Rangers, like year after year after year, like we knew it, is kind of done like that.
Yeah. That's still really cool though. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
I'm usually dressed as Bulk to my skull here, but
Oh,
we're going to be dressed as them tomorrow. We'll visit you.
Oh, yes, please do. That'd be great.
My question for you, because I ask everybody who was in the 95 movie,
Okay.
what was your all-time favorite part of filming that entire movie?
Well, oddly enough, you know, one of the fun things is something that you guys will never see in the movie because it got all completely cut out. With the movie, I don't know if you guys know this, but there was we had to reshoot the whole movie almost. We got through almost filming the whole entire movie, and we were supposed to be filming from like, you know, I think like October to December or something like that, and you know, we were pretty much like 3/4 of the way finished with the movie, and then we went on break for you know, Christmas holidays for 2 weeks. And when we came back in January, they said, we're going to reshoot the whole movie almost. And so they had a different Dulcia in there. You know, Dulcia was the girl in the green bikini that trained us and stuff. So actually, there was, so she was the original one that was cast, Gabrielle Fitzpatrick. She was originally cast, and then she got really, really sick and had to be hospitalized before we started filming. So production went into a panic, like, oh, we need to, bring somebody else in. So they bring in, of all people, this is before she got big herself, was Mariska Hargitay. And Mariska Hargitay, so the one who was Olivia Benson on Law and Order SVU, she was actually came and played Dulcie, and we did a whole movie with her, basically the whole thing with her, a whole sequence or whole scenes or whatever. And then by the end of the movie, they were just like, we don't like the way this is going. For whatever reason, they didn't like Mariska in that scene, and so when they decided to, scrap the movie, they let Mariska go, and by that time, Gabrielle was back out of the hospital, back, able to reprise her role, and so they just reshot everything. So, but some of the stuff that we did with Mariska Hargitay was really cool, and they had us doing all these like training sequences and stuff in these cool Japanese gardens, which they just scrapped all of that, what I mean? And so
there's footage of this somewhere out there.
Footage of it somewhere, but it's not on any Blu-rays, it's not anywhere, I mean, there's some, archival photos of Mariska and stuff being in the, being with the team and whatnot, but, it was quite different. But yeah, so that was some of the cool stuff. Yeah, they had different animals too, different characters. Like Dulcia had this little really a guy inside a suit, but it was he looked like an anteater almost, but on two legs. There was some kind of other creature with Dulcia there who was her little sidekick or whatever. It was very strange. Yeah, it was different, and the whole movie was completely different as well. There was a whole scene where, in Star Wars, when they were inside that worm and they're trying to shoot their way out, we had something like that where we thought we were walking into a cave, and we were walking into we were inside of a belly of some creature. Yeah, all kind of stuff that just didn't make the movie at all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congrats. Congrats. You got yourself a lot of video footage there.
Hello. What's going on, Steve? It's Dan from Dubuque, Iowa. I've got a question for you. So,
what's up, brother? What's going on, dude? Half their face is covered by the, that's my buddy Dan right there. Give my hand, man. Dan's awesome. What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
What's going on, dude? What's going on?
Anyway, he one time, when I first started doing Comic-Cons and stuff, he actually put together some event in Iowa and that was in Des Moines, right?
Dubuque.
Oh, Dubuque, sorry. Yeah, and we did a whole screening of the movie.
Yeah, we did a whole movie screening,
Q&A. Yeah, we had a little Q&A panel with a movie screening and stuff. That was legit. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, sorry. What's your question?
No problem at all. That was awesome. So when it comes to Power Rangers Turbo, were you supposed to be part of that? Was that your decision to leave, or were they writing Justin in just for the hell of it?
Yeah, no, good question. No, there was never supposed to be Justin. I was supposed to do the whole Turbo movie and the whole Turbo season. But when it came to do some contract negotiational stuff, we couldn't come to terms on things, so I chose to leave. And they were like, okay, well, can you at least, do a little bit in the movie so we can write a storyline to write you out? And I said, yeah. So I did that. But yeah, no, there wasn't ever supposed to be a little kid, but when I chose to leave, they scrambled to kind of create a new storyline, and they were like, how about we bring a kid in? And then that's what started that whole thing. But yeah, good question. Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Hey. Just for a record, my name is Jake Haugen. I'm from New Ulm, Minnesota. My biggest question is, what was your favorite moment out of all the Power Rangers?
Oh, well, gosh, there's a lot, you know what I mean? There's, just some of the things that happen off camera, the bonding that we had, because we were all stuck in another country together we didn't know anybody else but us, so bonding that way was also really cool, making the movie. There was a lot of fun episodes. I liked the episodes when they focused on one of the characters specifically, and so some of those episodes that were about me, those were fun. Some of the ones that people like the most, which I absolutely hate, is Rocky Just Wants to Have Fun. There's the one where he gets under a spell and he's he don't want to do any teaching, he don't want to do any work, he don't want to go to school, he just wants to play, and myself in that. I'm like, oh, I hate that. You know? Well, because think about it like this, okay? Now everybody's got a phone in there. Everybody sees themselves on camera. Everybody, it's like second nature now for everybody. They have to see themselves on camera. So back then it wasn't so easy. If you didn't have a camcorder, you don't really see yourself getting filmed very much. You don't really carry a camera around, let alone one that can take a picture of yourself, you know? So just not used to seeing, you know, yourself on camera or hearing your voice. You sound differently when you hear yourself talk than when you actually see yourself talk. So looking at my facial features and looking at, you know, expressions and hearing my voice, it was just all very certain. That was one of the first, you know, ones that I ever saw, one of the episodes that I ever saw completed, and I was like, oh, I don't like this at all, you know? I didn't like myself, I didn't, you know, I got real self-conscious about it. So for whatever reason, I had this mental block about why I don't like rock, I just want to have fun. And I was like, bro, that's like my favorite episode, and I'm like, anyway, so, yeah, it's odd, that one took some getting used to, but, I don't know, I mean, there was a lot of different memories, you know? But some of the other things that were like really special too was, one of the things that was really cool was a lot of celebrities used to come to our set because they had kids and their kids want to be Power Rangers. So, you know, people like Gene Simmons and, you know, like I remember Priscilla Presley, who was Elvis Presley's ex-wife, you know, she used to come set up because her new husband used to direct some of our episodes and stuff. So she was always on set, around all the time. You know, there was some really cool people that would come to our set. I got to meet Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I met Harold Ramis from Ghostbusters, and I met all these really cool people, you know? And so that was fun. And then one of the other things that was really cool was every week or every other week, we had the Make-A-Wish Foundation come, you know, to the set because some of the, you know, the kids that were, you know, dying, their last wish was to meet us, so we did that a lot. And that was always really special too. I think karmically, I'm good, you know, for doing that so many times, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the universe took care of me because, you know, we get these kids that are, you know, this really special thing. And, you know, sometimes it's heartbreaking, you know, to watch some of that, you know. But, you know, just glad we were able to give them some little bit of joy, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, bud. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Bree. I'm from North Virginia, and my question is, do you have a favorite Power Ranger instead of Gary you played?
Oh, do I? Yeah. Actually, there's a few that I like. I like the Time Force series. That's pretty cool. The concept of it is cool. And of course, you know, Jason Faughn, who played West, the Red Ranger, he's a very good friend of mine and stuff. So, you know, a little biased, but yeah, I like Time Force, you know. That one was pretty cool. And Dino Charge, that was cool. And then of course the cast from Cosmic Fury. You know, we got to work. We didn't do any filming with them, but they were there at the same time that we were, and so getting to meet them, you know, it was really cool too. So yeah, I have some favorites, I guess, but yeah. You're welcome.
You kind of touched on mine, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Oh, you came back up. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Do you have an actual favorite season other than Mighty Morphin that you liked, that you would have to pick to be your absolute favorite?
Yeah, I mean, if someone was being forced to choose, you know, which I think they're making me do, yeah, I'd say Time Force. Time Force, it's the concept of the time travel cops, you know, it's kind of pretty cool, you know.
Nice, thank you.
And last one.
Hi, my name's Brian. I'm from Maryland, but I'm originally from Colorado.
Okay.
And I got a question for you. So I know that you got brought onto the show and immediately went down to Australia to start filming the movie.
Yeah.
But they were also filming some of the show at the same time.
Right. And that was a result of the fact that they didn't like the way the movie went. Because we were supposed to film the movie and then go right back into doing production on the TV show. So, but we ended up having to stay for an extra almost 2 months to reshoot all the stuff they didn't like, so that all of a sudden had to lap over into the, well, you know, we need to get the TV show production going again. Right. So we were stuck in Australia filming the movie, and on our off days, we were filming the TV show. Okay. So yeah, I was working like 6-7 days a week sometimes, and it was crazy. So,
all right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, this really is the last one, guys. Both of you guys are here, last one?
Yep.
Okay, cool, all right, cool.
What brand of Taekwondo did you have a background in?
The Junri Institute.
The what?
Junri. That was the guy's name. He was from Korea. He started the Junior Institute out of Fort Hood, Texas. He used to train all the military guys back in the 50s and the 60s and stuff. And then his style grew, his affiliations grew, all around the country. But he was basically like the father of like American Taekwondo, whereas opposed to the ATA or the WTF, were sort of like there's the Korean first, but yeah, so his name was Jun Ri. That was the main instructor, and my instructor was an instructor out of Texas named Dennis Black. So yeah, it was American Taekwondo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Was there any dating between cast members or cast and crew?
No, not only because it really would have been frowned upon, but we just, we don't look at each other that way. We're like brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? Like, you don't look at your sister that way, right? You know what I mean? So, no, we didn't really have anything like that. Plus, when you're with somebody for 12 hours a day, the last thing you want to do is hang out with them after work, you know what I mean? So a lot of times I'm trying to find other people to hang out with, So yeah, no, there wasn't any on-set romances, at least not with our groups. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen with other Rangers and other seasons and stuff. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Yeah. Cool. Thank you guys so much. If you want to come up and ask a question, I'll be at my table. You guys are welcome to come over there and we can continue.
You'll be here all 3 days, right?
I'll be here all 3 days. Yeah.
So, all right, yeah, that's it. Any last words before we?
Well, other than just thank you guys so much. 30 years later, to get so much love and support, it means everything to us, which is why we try to go to as many of these kind of events as we can, so we can give back in some way to you guys as well too. So thank you, because without you guys, we're really nothing. So thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you, Twin Cities, and one more time,
I want to give a special shout out to the Gold Ranger members, Anime King Nick, Chaos Draco, the Arctic Operator, Dig Wyron, Tim Rage, Roderick Hare, Miguel Ortiz, Let's Talk Sports, Papillon Oger, Roderick Ham, Jason Morazes, Willie Maloney, Louis Cairns, Solima Ramirez, Danny Nascimento, Skird, Stephen Heffelman, Thomas Franco, Savage Sal, Tim Brown, Sean Schiffer, The Cosmic Nerd 24, Bruce Walters, and Austin White. Thank you guys so much for your support, and if you want a video shout out like this one, sign up to be a Gold Ranger member today. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this content, you know what to do. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. You can also become a member. Please join the fan club support team right now. We have a Blue Ranger power-up and a Gold Ranger power-up. This is an awesome way to talk with the fans. Join a fan club official chat group. You can also be featured in our videos. At the end of the videos, I will shout you out. That's if you get the Gold Ranger Power-Up membership. Go check it out. Go support the fan club. We love you guys, and thanks for watching. Peace.
Hi, we're Bulk and Skull. We have been requested by the fan club to say something funny.